of the most widely used and loved libraries for building user interfaces across web, mobile, desktop, and even TV, React.js powers apps that billions of people use every single day. Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, and LinkedIn, to name a few. And I welcome you to join me on this journey to learn just enough of it to build LinkedIn. Yeah, I'm not kidding. We have got an ongoing LinkedIn clone project here on this channel that has been running for months, and it is probably the closest thing to a real LinkedIn clone you will find on YouTube. To understand React, you should understand the difference between multi-page websites and single-page websites. Multi-page websites are this logic of building websites from the beginning of the World Wide Web, where a website is a collection of multiple HTML pages that are linked with links. And every time you do something, you are basically asking for a new HTML page. For now, let's say I try to go on this page, the website is going to be fully reloaded as I am getting a complete new HTML page. And the downside of this type of doing is that compared to native applications like mobile apps and desktop apps, it is slow, and people wanted to have a similar experience on websites. How we do that? We could leverage JavaScript and modify the DOM, and instead of getting full HTML pages, we make HTTP calls to get some maybe JSON data and then change the DOM with JavaScript. And by doing that, we have an experience that is similar to native applications. And this is where React comes up and says, instead of every one of you building these common thing for having dynamic websites that are updated via JavaScript, we're gonna give you some functions and some tools that you can use to speed up your development process. And if we look here on this website, the LinkedIn website that is built with React, if I change my page, if I go here, you realize that there is actually no page reloading. I'm just, you see, going to this page, but this isn't a page reload. JavaScript is actually making some HTTP call in the background to get data to update this page. So this is the idea of React. And another things that React does is that React thinks of website as a set of components instead of a set of pages like we said earlier for traditional websites. So for React, for example, this could be called a component, and this is a component, and each component is kind of independent from others in dealing with its life cycle, meaning in dealing with when I get updated, when I am loaded, and when I am deleted. For example, here, if I click on this like button, only this component is being updated via JavaScript, and all the other components on the website remains unchanged. While I said that React.js is simply a JavaScript library, if you pick up any React project, you're gonna be overwhelmed by a lot of files that are very confusing. Things like SLean, things like package.json, things like Vite, as you see here. And if you go into a smaller one for printing hello world, you need all of these, and you might get confused. Actually, you might not see that at the end in its basic form. React.js is simply a JavaScript library. To see that here, I have a project that's just made out of one index.html file, and I don't have anything else. This index.html file, as you can see, I have opened it on my browser here. And all we are doing is that we are importing React DOM and React. I'm going to explain the difference between these two in upcoming videos. But as you can see, we are simply writing JavaScript code to render this hello world in this div. And if you look here, it is kind of similar of what we would do with only JavaScript. And behind the scene, React is going to be calling these actual JavaScript DOM functions to print what you are seeing here in the browser. Also, if you have noticed here, we have files that are ending with GSX. What is this GSX actually? And how we are able to write this type of things in what it is looking like a JavaScript function. If I try to have something like this in a GS file, like here, let's say I try to, actually we could take this, add it in like this, and then I'm simply going to return it. We are saving something that is looking like HTML into what it is looking like a JavaScript variable and returning it. And if I try this in a normal JavaScript file, like here, if I try to do like this and refresh my page, you're gonna see that I will be getting error. Let me go to my console logs. So as you can see, it's saying syntax error and expected token, because you cannot write something like this. This is not valid JavaScript code. This is what we call GSX, and I'm gonna explain it in the next video of the series.